then you are required to do a thing. Follow me?
I think so, but...
Okay, let me go over that again. To whom much is given, much is required. In other words, here in this church, you get an exceptional amount of word.
Okay.
The quality and the quantity of the word that you get here is extremely high. You get a lot.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
So God is expecting a lot from you all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You follow me?
Yes.
In places where the word is not so liberally taught and preached, the people don't know. He's not holding them responsible for what they don't know.
Okay.
People living in those huts who have never heard of Christ.
Right.
He's not holding them responsible for what they don't know.
Right.
You see?
Yes, I understand that. That's
okay.
That's
a part of your question. The B part.
That's the part. You know, I was talking to a lady yesterday, and I was telling her that. I tried to explain to her, and she said, "Well, we can go. I'm not gonna sit up here and argue. We can go on and argue." I said to myself, "I don't need to talk to you because you don't really understand what I'm trying to tell you. There's people out there that don't know Him, like I was trying to in a hut, like I was telling you just now. They don't know anything about God. So how can they make a choice?" She said, "Well, we can go on and argue and argue." I said, "No, you won't, because I will not deal with nobody like you, because to me, you are ignorant." Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Anyhow, anyway, I know you for real. I know you really real. There's no doubt in my mind. That's what I like about you. Ain't nothing fake about you. You real. Anyhow, when it comes to like judgment, rapture, hell, all those kinds of things, that's God's choice. That's His decision. He decides what happens and what doesn't happen, because He says,
yes,
all souls are mine. Every
yes,
soul that's born belongs to Him.
Yes.
All souls are mine, the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son. But the soul that sinneth, it shall die. The Bible says, to him that knoweth to do good and do it not, to him it is sin. So if I'm in the jungles of Africa and my daily diet is to eat other people, I don't know that cannibalism is wrong. I don't know that that's wrong. I don't know that it's wrong to have 8 wives or whatever the case may be. I don't know that that's wrong. So to me, or to that person, it's not a sin. To him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. This is why, we go back to this example again, this is why nothing happened as long as Eve ate of the fruit, because the commandment wasn't given to her. The commandment was given to Adam. Eve was deceived. Adam was disobedient. So to Adam knew not to do it. To him, it was sin to him.
right.
To her, it was not, because the commandment wasn't given to her. He told her, but God told him. He was the one that was responsible. You follow me? So when she ate of the fruit, nothing happened, because the commandment wasn't given to her.
Okay.
When he ate of the fruit, that's when their eyes were opened. But not just his eyes. The Bible said their eyes were opened. So when he sinned, right, it caused the scale to fall off of the eyes of, hey, you're going to have to go have a seat. You're going to have to go sit down. You and your sweater. It caused, because he was responsible for all of mankind. Adam was. At the time, it was just him and Eve. But all of mankind, from him on, he was responsible for. So when he sinned, the scales not only fell off of his eyes, it fell off of hers too. And they were both able to see, the wrong that had been done. So, as I was saying, to him that knoweth to do good and he doesn't do it, to him it is sin. That's what the Bible says. So because we know, because God has given us word, because he has opened his word up to us and made it real plain to us, and we understand what the scripture is saying, there are many, many things that we're going to be held accountable for that perhaps somebody else may not be, because they don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you stand in the gap for someone, explain that.
Stand in the gap.
Yeah, that's
Standing in the gap.
Word.
Standing in the gap is putting yourself in the place, in that other person's place. That's just what Jesus did for us.
Okay.
It's the same thing as what we call standing proxy.
Okay.
For example, if a person, like, I don't know, your sister Cora, let's say she's home and she's ill. Let's just say.
Right.
Or G, one of them was sick. And I hold a prayer line. She can't be here, but you come and you stand for her.
Okay.
All right. Me touching you, the form of contact, it's as if I was touching her, because your faith, you're standing here and your faith is on behalf of her. You follow me? That's standing in the gap for somebody else. Jesus stood in the gap between us and God, because we couldn't communicate with Him. We had sinned so much, mankind, we was done. So Jesus came and He stood in the gap between us. He's what the Bible calls a mediator. It's the person that mediates between one party and another. The two parties can't talk to each other. When I went in for my proceedings to dissolve my first marriage, that's what I had, a mediator. And the mediator talked to this side, right? And then the mediator talked to this side. And this side said, well, I'll do this and I'll do that, but I ain't doing that. And this side will say, well, I'm doing this and that, but I'm not going to do the other. And it says, well, then, okay, if you don't do that, then I won't do this. And if you do that, then I'll do that. But they don't talk to each other. We didn't have the ability to talk to God. That's why when Jesus died, He said, no more do you pray the Father. He said, but you pray the Father in my name. Whatever you ask the Father in my name, that will He do. Because He's the mediator. It's like He basically, we are His bride, and what He basically did was gave us His credit card. You know, whatever you need, you can get it on my card. So we take His card and we access heaven. We can access the ATM of heaven, if you will, and make withdrawals for whatever it is that we need in His name. Our name's not on the card. His name is on the card. But because we are His bride, everything that He has, we have.
Okay, got it.
That's standing in the gap. You know.
One time, you stand in the gap for everybody. I mean, one blood. I mean, not just one person. You can stand in the gap for everybody.
For a group of people. Yeah. Just as for Jesus, He stood in the gap for the whole world.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So we have the same ability. He said the same. What's the names that I do that we could do?
We can do too.
And greater. You know, the same miracles, the same power that He exhibited here, we can do the same thing and greater. He said the works, that's the word I'm looking for. The works that I do, you can do, and greater works than these. You know, so if He can stand in the gap for a group, we can stand in the gap for a group. I gave an example. You all stood in the gap for a group. The group, remember the group that was here that didn't have jobs? The 5 or 6, there was 5 of them, I think. They stood here, they didn't have jobs. We all collectively stood in the gap for them, and we gave a tithe for them because they couldn't tithe for themselves. And so we tithed for them as if they had jobs until God was able to bless them with jobs, and He did. Okay? That's standing in the gap.
Right, I got it.
Doing for someone else what they're unable to do for themselves until they are able.
Right.
Until they're able. Now, once they're able, you don't keep standing in the gap, because then you start enabling a dysfunction. You follow me? Yeah. After a person is able to do for themselves, you gotta let them go and let them do. It's like with Nehemiah. You know, he's able to walk for himself now. Now, for me to always carry him and never put him down, I'm enabling a dysfunction. That's dysfunctional to carry him all the time when he's able to walk. You see? And this is how Jesus sees us. Let me just share this with y'all. This is how He sees us. He sees us healed. He sees us delivered. He sees us free. That's why when He looks at us, He doesn't want to enable our dysfunction. He wants us healed. That's why when He walked past that man that was sitting there laying on that bed, He said to him, "Wilt thou be made whole?" Jesus couldn't walk by there and enable that man's dysfunction. He wasn't going to let anybody carry him another day. You know, that's like me carrying that baby every day, all day. I'm not doing that.
Walk.
He need to walk.
Right.
And Jesus looking at this guy, he sees him as healed. That's how he sees him. Okay? He sees him as healed. And so it's dysfunctional to him to walk by and see a healed man being carried.
Right.
So he said to him, wilt thou be made whole? And the man said, I don't have nobody to put me in the water, blah, blah, blah. I didn't ask you that. Do you want to? Okay. What you do is take up your bed and walk. That's what you need to do. Just gather up your stuff and start walking. Because you ought to be walking as opposed to being carried.
Okay.
And so even in our lives, there are times when we carrying folks that need to be walking. Or perhaps folks are carrying us and we need to be walking. Nadia, don't let him, Nadia. Not now. Where did you get those sticks from? Put them up on top of the bag up there. Yeah, no. Put them on the bag, Nadia.
How you doing?
Yeah, so we don't want to enable a dysfunction, but standing in the gap, like you heard the term. We're not necessarily talking about a hand out, talking about a hand up. Follow? So this is our purpose here, to give a hand up, not a hand out. We want those that are down. We want to help you to get back up on your feet.
The light went out.
We want to help you get back up on your feet to the point where you're self-sufficient, where you can do for yourself. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
All right, so you can do for yourself, but not keep giving when you have the ability to go and do. Like the old saying goes, if I give you a fish, you eat today. If I teach you to fish, you can eat every day. Follow?
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep giving you fish. If I give you a fish, I'm doing the work and you reaping the benefit.
Right.
Not unless you got my last name.
Understand.
Okay, other than that, I need to teach. This is how you put the worm on. Then you toss it out. This is how, I need to teach you to fish. That way you can eat every day. You can eat every day.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Question? No? That's it? All right. I'm done. We'll, in a minute, I guess.